Welcome back, everybody. Jeff told me
Welcome
not
back.
to move.
Yeah, don't move. Stay there.
Okay.
So, I found out a couple things. I did some research on villages, and it was funny because one of the comments specifically said, "Don't forget before you get another zombie," because this is a couple episodes ago, recording wise, right after the zombie got killed by the Iron Golem. Said, "Cover the villagers' hole so they can't see, then kill your Iron Golem."
So,
Apparently, villages are now based on like a popularity system.
uh-huh.
And killing the Iron Golem loses a chunk of that popularity.
All right.
So we've got a couple problems that we're looking at here. One of the ways to gain popularity, which is a lot of popularity, is to stop a raid.
Well, we did that.
No, we didn't.
Oh, that zombie.
That zombie is part of the raid. And I don't know if that's what's causing the crazy problems that we have going on with the villagers going back and forth. Don't kill him, don't kill him, don't kill him.
Oh.
So it might be something that we have to get to. But then the other problem is, come up here.
Okay. Oh.
I just noticed him right before you log onto the server. I have no idea why he's here. Like why he would have spawned outside if there's a spawning radius of these guys that he's going to spawn outside the walls. Like, I don't know what to do about that.
You'd have to put more blocks, I guess, to fill in the radius so he can't spawn out here.
I don't know how big the spawning radius is.
Right.
So that could potentially be a big problem.
It's probably pretty damn close. Well, I don't know, because villages are so big now.
Like, could it spawn anywhere in the village? I know villages, apparently, some research I've done, has a central location now. That the bell actually has a use. Apparently, the bell calls for the central location of the village.
So can we put the bell in the center of this and ring it?
Maybe? I don't know if that would do anything or if that changes anything either. God, that one zombie or that one villager is so concerned.
So we have to kill the zombie, right?
I don't know if we have to kill the zombie because clearly he spawned, right?
Mm-hmm. But what'd you say about not killing him until you do something?
They said the comment said to cover the villagers' hole so they couldn't see and then kill him. But everything I'm reading just talks about here. There's the villager mechanics wiki says that killing a villager's iron golem loses you 5 points of popularity in the village. But it doesn't say like they have to see you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm a little bit concerned. Like, can we get this guy to somehow die from natural causes?
Just pour lava on him.
That's true. I don't have any lava. I would need to go get some. The other thing I was thinking about doing was making the village bigger, trying to expand the growth of the villagers. With some more blocks to do that.
I feel like we're putting a lot of effort into a thing that's going to get reset in a month.
I mean, is there anything else to do right now?
No. I guess we could like.
Would you rather just walk to the far lands?
Yeah, I guess we could like play another game for a few weeks or something. But yeah, really, it's this or nothing.
I mean, if you want to play another game for a few weeks, we can do that.
I don't know. What
See you guys.
Yeah. Bye, bitches.
I say My Little Pony.
So, does Jack play any video games?
Not that Mom likes to know about.
Really? What do you limit his screen time to each day?
It depends on the day and what's happening. I mean, it's kind of all over the place. Especially now, like I have no idea what they limit his screen time to. Since
right. Well, you know, it's interesting with homeschool being on a screen, that kind of changes things, right? Like my daughter spends.
True. Well, yeah, there's certain things that are considered screen time, I guess, and certain things that wouldn't be, right?
Well, but you know, no, like yes and no. So, like, what are we trying to accomplish here? Are we trying to accomplish limiting someone's ability to be entertained? Because I think screen time is just basically any time that you're looking at a screen. To me, that's what it means. Like anytime. What are you doing? Just out of curiosity.
Making this bigger so I can eventually get the villagers all together with more beds.
Okay. To me, it's just it's about what's the damaging aspects of sitting around, not doing anything, looking at a screen. So to me, my daughter looking at her iPad for school is the same thing as if she was looking at her iPad to play Minecraft.
Really?
I consider it the same.
Because I completely feel like that's like saying when I FaceTime my family, that should cut into his screen time of like videos he should be able to, he wants to watch. You either talk to daddy or
right. I mean, I've not changed the amount of time my daughter's able to spend. I'm not counting her schooling as. I'm just saying I think it is screen time, but I'm not like, all right, well, you spent 3 hours on your iPad today.
It is definitely the definition of screen time. But I mean, that would be like saying, I'm trying to think of a good way to put this now. I wish I had a good example because I'm sure, give me enough time and I can come up with a great one. But it's like I went and worked at McDonald's back in the day. Part of my orientation was to go watch orientation videos. Is that considered me sitting down and watching TV? No. Like, yes, I'm watching a television. Yes, I'm watching a video that I'm playing that was not like news or something.
I guess the thing is with elementary aged or younger children, so elementary and younger, what the studies have shown is that screen time causes two problems: insomnia and behavior problems. So if they spend more than 2 hours per day, they're more likely to have emotional, social, and attention deficit problems than a child that doesn't have 2 or more hours a day.
But do you think that goes to the same thing, like watching an instructor as an educational tool versus just something that they're watching, staring at?
Yes, because it's the light emitted from the screens that affects your brain, not the content.
Are you sure?
That's what the studies show. I'm really reading it from an article right now, a science article.
I mean, that would be interesting to me because whenever people talk about screen time, I've never looked at the studies to know, but I've never thought of the studies as talking about the light emitted from the screen. I thought it was about.
That's why all these phones and stuff have night modes, which change it from a white balanced light to a different kind of light. Because
I thought that was because it hurt my eyes.
No, it's to help you be able to go to sleep. Like the same thing like with my glasses. My glasses have a blue limit filter on them. The same thing to prevent the screens from affecting my ability to sleep.
And hurt your
eyes. So I think that aspect of it, the light affecting your brain aspect of it, is no matter what you're using the screen for. So I guess that to me that's kind of a problem, right? Like,
well, sure. I mean, if that's what it is, like that's never what I've thought about it as before. So I could be completely misunderstanding the concept of screen time.
Well, that's just one of the things, right? Because it's also the fact that you're sitting there motionless, so adding to our obesity problem and stuff like that. So it's not the only factor in screen time. There's also basically the factor you were talking about of just the kids being lazy and not doing something. But the light emission is also part of it.
Well, it's just interesting to think because Jack's got soccer that we used to do that now has been moved to they do Zoom lessons.
Right. Same thing with my daughter. Her dance is that.
Is that screen time?
Technically,
that's
yeah.
That's a really difficult one because they just look at the screen to find out what they're supposed to do, and then they run back and forth in the living room.
Yeah. So maybe that's. I mean, it's not. It's not 100%. It's not committed screen time, I guess.
Sure, but this concept actually has me extremely intrigued because it's just the different concept of screen time than I've ever heard about before.
That's why you're supposed to not like look at your phone or watch TV within like an hour or so of bedtime as well to help you be able to fall asleep.
So you mean the sleep timer is not desirable? Are you sure?
I mean, it's kind of interesting. Like, if I let my daughter watch TV, she'll stay awake until fucking 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning if I just leave her alone to do it. Whereas, you know, if she just goes to bed in a quiet place, like right now, 8:30 at night, she's already out. You know, so like, I mean, that to me is just like a real life example of how much it aids you in staying awake.
But at the same time, like if I turned on a video of somebody giving a lecture on astrophysics, he's not going to be so entertained that he's going to watch
Right.
it until fucking morning.
Yeah,
You
you're probably
know,
right.
I think
It has to be something
part
that
of it's the entertainment factor and what he
Yeah.
likes to watch.
Right. And I think that probably changes with age too, where you would be more willing to sit there and look at something. Maybe, I don't know. But I guess when you get older, you just get tired and you go to sleep. Like, there's an age where you're like, fucking naps are awesome.
Oh god, I love naps.
So yeah, but yeah, I guess the whole point of this little bit of a conversation was like, kids are getting a hell of a lot more screen time all of a sudden.
Yeah, I just like I said, I've never thought about the concept of screen time, even though, like, by definition, yeah, sure, it's screen time. I never thought about it in that way before, though,
Right.
because, like I said, I think mainly about the fact that, you know, I FaceTime. You know, I don't use FaceTime because I don't have an iPhone. It's Google Duo. It's what we do for all the cool people out there with Google. Yeah, Google Duo.
Okay.
We Google Duo, and I don't consider that eating into any screen time limits that are trying to be imposed.
Right. Well, that's kind of why I was asking, because you know you said Julia's not okay with gaming, and then to me, it's the question is what aspect of gaming is she not okay with?
I mean, I think it's to limit the quote unquote screen time, but in the way of like Jack being engrossed on a screen. I think it's more to do with, from what I understand from her objection, is that there's something about the concept of having like a narrative forced down your throat that doesn't even have morals type of deal. Like there's certain things she's okay with him watching and still doesn't want him to watch too much of, like Sesame Street, things like that. But he loves to, like, when we're flipping through Netflix, you know, he'll see this, oh look, the robots, and it's some random, you know, dubbed over Japanese Transformer ripoff,
Yeah.
but clearly there's no meaning to it anymore because the dubbing doesn't even make any sense based on what's happening on the screen.
Right.
You know. So I don't know.
It's weird that that's okay, but
Well, that's not necessarily.
That's not okay. Okay, I see.
Yeah, that's not okay. Like Sesame Street is okay, but not for also long periods of time. It's not like, oh, go watch Sesame Street for like 16 hours.
Right.
Go, you know, we're going to the store. Leave us
alone. I mean, I used to have a pretty strict rule of 30 minutes a day, and we stuck with that for a long time. But I'll be honest, right now during COVID, I just let her do, you know, as long as she's done her schoolwork and stuff. Like we you know, I try to make us stuff for us to do that's not just sitting in front of the computer. But like, you know, yesterday we played Minecraft together for like 3 hours, I think.
That's screen time, right?
Right, exactly. And I mean, and on top of, you know, she spent 3 hours on her iPad doing schoolwork. So she probably had 6 hours of screen time yesterday, I would say.
I didn't realize these villagers are stuck. That's funny. It's because of the carpet. They just can't get out. There we go. I gave them a bunch of food. Well, I just let the one out.
Well, no, yeah, but this one just finally got off his bed. I thought he was actually going to walk out, but no.
Guys, like, I want to mate.
Will they mate?
They should. I mean, I don't remember all the requirements, what they need. I gave them some.
Is this an American flag? Are we?
It was close to it, yeah.
Did you do that on purpose? Oh, yeah, Patriots.
I mean, I was getting sheep for wool, and I was like, ooh, red, white, and blue.
It's Memorial Day. That's Monday, right?
Yes.
Are
I
you
don't know what else.
off?
Yes. I get Memorial Day off, not Labor Day. You must work on Labor Day. It's
Huh. That's interesting.
Day of Labor.
It is a day of
Being
labor.
a holiday doesn't make any sense. Hey! I forgot these guys can open doors.
Yeah, they
That's
sure
probably
can.
bad. Probably bad. I put that in there thinking like, oh, I'll trick these bastards. I guess they don't really have anywhere to go though.
Yeah.
I don't know what meets the requirements of breeding. I know the villages are all about them claiming beds and stuff now, though, so they might have just reclaimed their beds and like reclaimed their beds over here, which is fine.
Well, I wonder
Should put the
about
bell on
doors.
the
Your
top.
doors used to be a big part
No,
of
doors are apparently
breeding.
not a thing anymore.
Okay, so they don't matter at all now.
Correct.
I have not seen a villager fuck. It's in the new
Yeah, I
update.
haven't seen them get all happy either. Yeah, I went to bed.
Yes.
Oh, I guess they kept their old beds.
Yeah.
So the new ones should claim new beds when they have the sex.
Well, will they?
I don't know. I mean, they're supposed to. I don't know what makes them happy.
What about this iron golem? Are we gonna kill it?
Oh yeah, we need to. But I don't know if it's gonna.
Well, what if we just pour lava on it?
Oh yeah, that's right. I went and got a lava bucket. So, hold on. It's gonna take a lot of lava. We should push him into my little thing here.
Yeah, that's what I was originally thinking, but I don't know how to get him to come all the way down there.
He won't fit.
He is not.
He's like in the same spot.
Yeah, he hasn't moved once.
He really doesn't want to move.
No, that's so weird. Why is he not moving?
He did.
That's weird that he spawned a period, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. And I only saw him because I was like coming down here and I saw him on the edge of the island. He was not in that exact spot, which is kind of funny because that means he moved there. But I saw him like
and never moved again.
Yeah, I saw him like back around here, and I was like, "What the hell?" And he just like, dude, walk, stop forever.
Huh?
Watch him have been like a natural iron golem from something else.
Is that a thing?
I have no idea.
I don't think it's a thing. Yeah, I don't know what I was gonna say.
I wonder if we should move the bell to the top of this zombie, though.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Ensure that that's the central part of the village.
I'll do that. I'll go grab it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna read in the interim.
So, when the server resets next month,
we'll rebuild this.
Yeah, exactly. I told my daughter, because my daughter, we already have a world and everything, but she wants to play. So it's not on a server. It's just like,
no, she's got to win a contest to get into Minecraft.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm gonna add her to the whitelist. Whenever we reset.
Because she's gonna pay her minimum Patreon or whatever it is.
Yeah. How do you ring this damn thing?
Right.
It won't.
Why did I go to a villager's page about breeding?
Oh, that wakes him up. Oh, there's there's a guy. There's a man.
Wait, what? A man? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he's in the hole. I fixed it too, so he should actually die. Do you have to ring the bell for him to... Oh no.
Oh no.
That works. We have no way to get to the goods right now, but you know.
But yeah, like the way we do it now, like I have.
Ring the bell again. Let's get another one.
Do you think that worked? It got the villagers up. They all got out of bed when I rang the bell.
Yeah, I get when you ring the bell, it's supposed to bring them to. It signifies that as like the central point of the village, and they all try to go there. I don't know how long they try to go there for before they'll actually go back to sleep, though. Did you like ruin their night?
No, they're back in bed now. Well, some of them are. No new golem though.
Okay.
So what? How quickly are these golems supposed to spawn?
I don't know, but the more villagers you have, the quicklier
Got
the
it.
quicklier they spawn.
I wonder if one spawned outside. Actually, let me go look. Missing my jump here badly. Oh my gosh.
That's not a great staircase. No, nobody outside. Yeah, I just need to see how to breed villagers.
Oh, anyways, what I was saying, like for the 5th time, the way it's set up, I like start up the world and then I have to like put it into like land mode and stuff.
Ideally 3 bread. However, 12 carrots, 12 beetroot, or 12 potatoes. I did not give them that many potatoes. I have plenty to do that though, but 3 bread is, I guess, the ideal.
So yeah, she's been wanting like to play without me having to start the server up. So I was like, well, here's what we'll do. So yeah, we're gonna have the youngest member of the server ever.
Ooh. She excited?
She doesn't quite understand. She's really worried about getting in the way. She's like, I don't want to mess up y'all's videos. What if I'm in the way? And I'm like, as long as you're not jumping in people's faces, like it's not a problem.
Don't worry, nobody watches anyway.
Well, yeah, that's what I told her. I was like, there's not really that many people that even play, so like I wouldn't worry about it.
Did he just pick those up from his nose?
Is he snorting carrots?
Or potatoes. They made this sound like they went back into my inventory, but they didn't, I don't think.
So I talked about this thing on the podcast today, and I keep doing this thing where I'll talk about a podcast topic and then talk about it here too, so it's like doubled up. But I want to know, have you heard of adrenochrome?
No.
Okay. Apparently it's a synthetic compound that is similar to like the oxidation of adrenaline itself.
Okay.
I bring it up because
the oxidation of adrenaline itself.
Let me see if I can find this article again that I read earlier.
Ooh,
oh, here, man. Oh, he hit the man.
No!
Oh, he killed
him!
Okay, well. So I don't understand where he's supposed to spawn.
Well, he clearly spawned.
Right, that's the thing. Like, he won't spawn in the air. So how do you set it up? I guess you need to go one more out.
Oh, yeah, you know what? I guess I need to... So that's why I had, at the end of the last video, though you didn't see much of it, I had dug these holes, basically, back here, except they weren't quite as deep. Because I wanted a spawning platform on the side. Then I changed them and used them. This villager moved himself to a different bed.
I'm probably going to try to waken his ass up. Well, now we need to fill this back in to
get a new zombie.
Right.
And then so I figured the spawning pad would be this right here for now. It should be the spawning pad.
Okay.
We can dig it back like one more or something like that.
Well, to make this a short story, because we're almost out of time, basically yesterday was the day I make bread. And after I got the bread made, I called my cousin and told him to come if he wanted some bread.
I don't understand. Like, there's a day of your life that is just bread day?
Well, every 3 to 5 days you have to make it, or either that or dump your starter and feed your starter.
I was going to say, I will say I have not made bread every 3 to 5 days of my life.
Basically, it's more about maintaining the starter itself. So either you're going to dump half your starter and feed it, or you're going to pour half your starter into bread and feed it, basically. So it makes sense to just go ahead and make bread on the 3rd or the 5th day. And this was actually the 5th day, so it was like definitely time to make bread. So I made bread, and I called my cousin and was like, hey, you want some bread? And he come to get the bread, and I left it out on the porch for him. And we went to the door to talk to him through the door out there, and he goes, so what do you think about this virus? And I'm like, what you mean? And I know my cousin is like, Trump supporter and that sort of stuff, but we just kind of don't talk about it because we're family and we don't want to hate each other.
Uh-huh.
So we just know like these are not things we talk about basically. Um, and I was like, I don't know what you mean. What do you There's a lot of things I think about coronavirus. Like, what do you mean exactly? And he's like, where do you think it came from? And I was like, oh Lord. Um, I was like, well, I think it probably came from Wuhan, China. Like, probably. But we
Oh,
don't know.
from the lab.
Yeah, that's where he
Did they
was going. He
did
was
they
going.
release it on purpose?
They released
By
it on
purpose?
purpose to affect the economy because that was the only way to slow down Trump. Basically, is what he told me. But that was just the beginning of the fucking. He stood on my porch and told.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. People really believe that Wuhan released this virus specifically to slow down Trump because he's that good?
Yes, yes, 100%.
Oh, Jesus.
That is the
I
only
didn't
way to slow
know
him
that
down.
I didn't know that that was even a thing.
Yeah,
I didn't know that there was any thought process that it was purposely done specifically to slow down Trump.
right. Because the economy was so good, the only way, because Trump has fixed our economy and everything, and the only way to hurt him, because there's no way to get to him, was to create a global pandemic that hurt our economy. So that was the only way to get to Trump, basically. But that was just the beginning. We just getting started there. He started talking about the Titanic was a setup because
Because Trump was
right,
his
yeah,
family.
they knew how to get to Trump. It was a setup because like
It was a time traveler
yeah,
who knew that the Titanic was the only thing that could stop Trump.
um like he started off his question with like, what do you think about the Titanic? And I was just like, this is after he had already like talked about Barack Obama being secretly adopted, and he's the richest man in the world basically because he's the sole heir of like Goldman Sachs's fortune or something, um, and because that's his real parents or something like this, and
Even if it is, what the fuck does that matter? I don't understand anything to do with this statement.
well, it was about the way Trump lies, and because there's all this like elite people on the left, and he's like a big part of this deep state left people with all the money that are able to affect everything, and like Bill Gates is apparently making a vaccine right now that's a super vaccine, and it's not just for coronavirus. It's like, and
It's
in the
for
middle of him,
it's for all the Trojans and the worms and any virus for computers. Like,
well, in the middle of him telling me about the Gates vaccine, he basically like he's like they've been doing this to us our whole lives. He's like you remember whenever they'd come to our classrooms those little bottles and they called it fluoride. He's like yeah now look how much fluoride's in everything. They put that fluoride in there to make you think like a Democrat's what they do. He's like imagine if you couldn't think for yourself. Imagine what that would be like. That's what fluoride does. Um,
all I can say is I'm sorry.
it was I half about after about 45 minutes or so of this I was like, what would it take for you to sit down and make a YouTube video with me about this stuff? Like maybe we could get like the truth out there. And he's like I don't want them knowing about I don't want to be on the list.
So I'm so curious though. What sites and stuff is he looking at on a regular basis that have him convinced that fluoride is a democratic like mind tool?
Well, Facebook got brought up a lot, so Facebook is part of it.
I've
Like
never even heard of that conspiracy before.
I hadn't either. I hadn't heard of several of them, like the one about the Titanic. So the Titanic was a setup job because the government was trying to create the Federal Reserve, and the people that were against creating the Federal Reserve were going to win, and they were going to stop the Federal Reserve from being made. So they put them on the Titanic, and they sank the Titanic to kill them all.
So was it a guy dressed as an iceberg?
No, it was just an explosion, basically. Like they set up like a detonation to sink the ship. Basically, the iceberg wasn't part of it at all.
Wouldn't the survivors have had a little bit more of
Only
a
the people they wanted
corroborating-
to survive got to survive, is what he said. Because I was like, well, really, didn't they just focus on like women and children for the lifeboats? And he's like, I don't care if you're the richest people in the planet. you'd get a boat. And I was like, wasn't everyone on that ship the richest people on the planet? Like, wasn't it like this real exclusive ship that
Not what's Leonardo DiCaprio. He was a poor guy.
that's true. Um,
That was before he made all his money in movies.
but yeah, he was like, it wouldn't matter. They're the richest, most powerful people on this planet. Of course, they're going to get one of the ships, and so the fact that none of them did, that's just proof. And he said Judge Joe Brown is who leaked the information about Obama being adopted. I think I called him Adama.
Like the TV judge.
Yeah, that's the one.
Does he have the episode?
No, it wasn't on. It was in some interview, and the woman was insulting his intelligence apparently, and so he went off on her and was like, "I'll tell you something none of you know that about Obama's adoption and all this." Was what my cousin said. So, but this.
You don't think I'm cool? Don't worry, I'll show you how cool I am. I'm gonna drop the biggest secret I've been holding for my boy. Like
right.
Years.
But this adrenochrome stuff, he couldn't like he left me with homework. Whenever he left my house,
adrenochrome. I've never heard of this thing. Again.
So what adrenochrome is it? There's actually an article that I've been able to find that's like basically QAnon is spreading a lot of this. So a lot of this is QAnon shit. You're familiar with QAnon, right?
Nope.
Oh my gosh, there's so many things. We're gonna have to.
Yeah, is this the news? The quote unquote news site?
No, this is a guy that for like the last maybe 2 years, and it may be more than one person. We don't know. It started on 4chan.
QAnon?
Yes. And QAnon's been constantly talking about like the whole Comey stuff, Mueller stuff. All of that was all part of this deep state conspiracy, basically against Trump.
QAnon.
Yes, QAnon.
Oh, QAnon. Oh,
QAnon. The letter Q and then anon like anonymous.
Oh wait, what? So not QUE and then LENON.
No, the letter Q ANON.
Guys, leave Q Lennon alone.
Q Lennon did nothing.
Let's take a look at Q Lennon here and see. Oh, there's a lot of Q Lennons. Holy shit. Q. Just non? Q non?
Yes.
QAnon. Far right conspiracy theory. Okay, got the right person here.
Right.
On Wikipedia.
Detailing a supposed secret plot by an alleged deep state against the United States President Donald Trump and his supporters. The theory began in October 2017 posts of anonymous image board 4chan by someone with the username Q, a presumably American individual, but probably later a group of people claiming to have access to classified information involving the Trump administrations and its opponents in the United States. Q has falsely accused many liberal Hollywood actors, Democratic politicians, and high-ranking officials of engaging in international child sex trafficking rings, and has claimed that Donald Trump feigned collusion with Russians in order to enlist Robert Mueller to join him in exposing the ring and preventing a coup d'etat by Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and George Soros. Q is a reference to the Q clearance used by the Department of Energy. QAnon believers commonly tag their social media with the hashtag WWG1WGA, signifying the motto, where we go one, we all go. The conspiracy theory, go ahead.
So Trump, what you're saying is, as much as he denies being colluded with Russia, he completely made up that entire narrative, has done nothing in his mind to support it except for to pretend it exists by denying it the whole time.
To set up Barack Obama, Hillary, and Soros, yes.
Okay, I mean, genius.
The conspiracy, many disseminated by supporters of President Trump under the names The Storm and The Great Awakening, QAnon's precepts and vocabulary closely related to the religious concepts of millenarianism and apocalypticism, leading it to be sometimes construed as an emerging religious movement, has been widely characterized as baseless, unhinged, and evidence-free. Its proponents have been called deranged conspiracy cult and some of the internet's most crazy Trump fans. According, blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't have to read this whole thing. But yeah, basically, I'm pretty sure everything my brother was talking, not my brother, my cousin was talking about stems from QAnon stuff, because he did start talking about, and it's in the Bible. The Bible tells you that when it talks about the third eye, that we can see what these vaccines are going to do to us, and it's going to close our third eye so that we can no longer see the truth and see the people that are really trying to help us, like Trump, basically. And that's where the fluoride comes in, and also this vaccine that apparently Gates is developing is going to be the ultimate. It's basically a bottle of fluoride. It's going to be the ultimate thing that closes your third eye forever.
Okay.
But I'll get into some more of this in the next episode. We got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody.